Hi folks, and welcome to my studio. Let me start off by saying thank you so much for all the recent likes and comments that you've given me, and also for all the new subscribers too. It's very much appreciated, thank you. Today I'm going to bring you another one of my song breakdowns for you, and this one is New Order's Blue Monday. So I hope you enjoy it and let me know what you think. Well, it's been quite a while since I did Blue Monday, but let's have a go at see if we can remember how it all works. So the song that I did was recorded at 130 beats per minute, and I made it up with 10 different sequences using various patterns on each sequence. So some of the patterns are 2 bars, some of them are 4 bars. So let's go through them one at a time like we do before, and you can hear what they sound like. So pattern number 1, I think you'll recognise it straight away. So there's 2 bars worth there. Pattern number 2. And then pattern number 3 is a 4-bar sequence. Pattern number 4, back to 2 bars again. Pattern 5. This one, another 4-bar sequence. Pattern 6. Pattern 7. Pattern 8. That was another 4-bar sequence. Pattern 9. That's a 4-bar sequence. And finally pattern 10, which I can't remember actually using this one in the song, but it's a variation of a previous pattern. May have just been done more as an experiment than in the actual end production, but the beauty about this is that you can play around with it so much and make your own versions, so hopefully this will give you an insight in what you can and will be able to do with it. So let's go back to pattern 1 and have a look at the drum patterns that we've got here. So we've got on pattern 1 we've got the very familiar drum pattern. And for this I'm using the TR-909 kit 1, sorry, TR-909 kit 4, I do beg your pardon. I should have put my reading glasses on. And the pattern basically it's a 4 on the floor pattern with this fill at the end here. So you've got 4 distinct beats going on beats 1, 5, 9 and 13. Then you've got this fill at the end here, so the last 8 notes in the bar, in bar 1 have this 8-note drum pattern going on. So you've got that, and we've got these two drums here. We've got the bass drum and we've got this snare drum also. So the snare drum appears on positions 5 and 13 in bar 1, and in bar 2 on positions 5 and 13 again. So the bass drum appears on those positions in bar 1, and in bar 2 it just appears on the 4 beats to the bar on the beginning of each beat. Hope that makes sense. Let's have another listen to it. So let's go to the second sequence. Again, we've got the same bass drum. This one is appearing on positions 1, 4, 7 and 10 in bar 1, and the same in bar 2, and we've also got the cymbal sound as well going with the bass drum on the same positions. Okay, so that's the second sequence. The third sequence, so let's start off by looking at the drum pattern that we've got going on here. So we've got the standard 4 on the floor bass drum going on all 4 bars, the same bass drum pattern. We've got hand claps going as well on positions 5 and 13 in each bar. Okay. Just turn the hand claps down. We've got the open hi-hat. So starting off with the bass drum, then we've got the snare drum, hand claps, and the cymbal, open hi-hat. And then let's bring the other instruments in that we've got here. So basically this is going, it's playing octaves, but it's playing this sort of octave dance around these notes. Hope that makes sense. So the voice that we're using for that is the saw and sub bass 1. So by programming these positions in with the different notes, it will give you that nice sort of punchy bounce of sound rather than trying to record it in manually. And what else have we got on here? This sound you're listening to now is the is on D1. It's a 106 bass 1. So it's playing these notes up in the higher octave. Okay, let's go to memory sequence number 4. So with that we've got this snare drum sort of rattling away on these positions here. I'll just leave the camera on there a minute so you can actually see which ones are being used. So we've got the snare drum, got the hand clap. Let's just mute the snare drum a minute. Mute the hand claps. Can you hear that little? There's a little cymbal thing going on at the end there on bar 2. So basically, all that is on these end positions here. We've got the partial hi-hat and the open hi-hat on those positions there, giving you that sound at the end. Let's bring the sounds back in again. Hand claps. Bass drum. So that's that one. Let's go to the next one, position sequence 5 rather. So let's isolate some of these sounds. So the drum pattern is very similar to the one we've used before. We've got the synthesizer playing the octaves again. Actually, it's actually using the arpeggiator. I forgot about this. We're using the arpeggiator, so the arpeggiator is actually using the very basic sort of octave shift. I think it's the very first arpeggiator option when you switch it on. Very simple alternating octave arpeggiator, and it's working in time with the beats per minute, which is really cool when it kicks in. So let's just bring the drums in again, and you can hear what's happening. Synthesizer out and play it manually, you'll see what happens. the gist with it. Looking at the time, what we've got, time's cracking on, so let's rush through this a little bit quicker. So we'll go on to position sequence number 6. And all we've got going on there, as you can probably hear, is that nice sort of droning. Which I think I'm actually playing the Fs, so an F octave. Let's just isolate that. Mixed in with that as well, we've got this. Yes, remember that now being in the original. So that is, let's just isolate that one for you. I meant to say the voice that we're using is VP330 Choir, or CHR, on the effects section down here. This voice that you're hearing, this is Soft Reso PD1. Take the drums off a minute and make it a bit easier. So it starts on the A. And that leads into the next sequence, which I remember, if I remember. So starting on a C. Okay. You've heard that a few times now while I change my glasses and put my reading glasses on, make it a bit easier for me. Okay, next sequence number 8. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Let's just try and... the drum sequence is very much the same as before. What else have we got going on? So that's it again, is very similar to what we heard before. The octaves on the... Again, using the arpeggiator. But we've got this clavinova thing going on here, which is really interesting because I watched a video about the making of Blue Monday, and there was something in there which I found really fascinating, and that's why I wanted to incorporate into my version, is this clavinova sound, which is actually the beats are one beat off. Apparently when they did this in the original recording, the sequences got misaligned or something, and this is how this very distinct sound came about. So you've got the main riff, but then you've got this clavinova actually on the second beat. Let me just try and bring that in and I'll show you what I mean. I think I've just about got it there. Let me just isolate it. So when it's played like that it sounds completely wrong, but when it's played with the main pattern it just somehow works. And then we've got this lovely stab of FM brass sound going on as well. So it's playing this triad. And get it right. It's quite difficult to do. Again, I've got a tripod, this camera is sat on a tripod. I've got my hands going around the sides of it, so I can't get the full feel of the keyboard. But those are the notes that I'm playing. So it's starting on this, starting on a D, D, E and A. Quite simple, just got to get it in the right time. Okay, so the next sequence is sequence 9. And that's where it goes into I see a ship in a harbour. Basically goes back into this pattern here, so it goes. So it's a link between those two verses. In the finished version, when I recorded this one, I actually put a speeded up drum on there as well, and also a filter white noise sound as well, which added into it. Again, it had to be overlaid on the multi-track recording, but it did work. So sequence 9 is what we just heard, and sequence 10 is just a different variation of sequence 8. I actually quite like that one better than sequence 8, to be honest, but there you go. Well, I hope you found that interesting, and thanks very much for watching. Remember, if you liked it, hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and you'll be first to know when I bring a new one out. So take care, all the best for now, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.